If you having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. I got the rap patrol on the patrol. Foes that want to make sure my casket's closed.
All right, folks. So, yeah, we're here. Jay Thomas, the Wrecking Ball, over here on my left or your left or my right or whichever way you're looking at is the Pastry Kings OG and the current PVGA fighting champion. But anyway, folks, we're not here to talk about video games. That's last week's stuff. We're here to talk about movies and television, all sorts of things. So let's start things off.
Well, first, I'm going to disclaimer out there that sometimes my pronunciations for names are incorrect. So you're going to have to deal with that. It's just something that's going to happen. All right.
I hope you do that. So we point it out and then I put the spelling and, you know,
Yeah.
that just leads to jokes.
So I got 4 movies. I'm going to start off with an older one from 1992. All right.
Okay.
You can find this on HBO Max or maybe just HBO, something like that. You know, it's rated PG-13, so it could be a family movie if you want it to be. And the movie's called Sneakers.
Mr. Bishop, we've heard a lot of great things about you.
They're all true.
Your team, it's
I know, kind of different.
Darren Raskow, also known as Mother.
Now what are you saying? The NSA killed Kennedy?
No, they shot him, but they didn't kill him. He's still alive.
Carl Arbogast.
I know, we're the ones who caught him.
Erwin Emery, also known as Whistler.
Very good, Bish. Remind me to make you an honorary blind person.
How about Donald Crease, 22-year veteran of the CIA?
Did I ever tell you why I had to leave the CIA?
My temper.
I did and I remember it, but I don't remember it.
Probably one of my top 15 movies I like. Be honest, like I don't know what it is. I just dig it.
Robert Redford,
yeah.
I know that. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people in this. All right, so I'll ramble off some people that are in it. Robert Redford, Dan Aykroyd, Sidney Poitier, because I love saying his name. Yeah. All right. The late River Phoenix. I don't know who else has passed away here, to be honest. And James Earl Jones. All right.
Just recently, right after coming to America too.
Yeah. Which isn't on the list, but I did watch that. We'll say that for another What You Watching. All right. Yeah. So the whole synopsis of the movie is a security pro, which Robert Redford plays, finds his past comes back to haunt him. When his team are tasked to retrieving a particular important item. All right. It's like a good hacking movie is what it comes down to.
Like Ocean's 11?
I say more like Hackers with Angelina Jolie and what's the other guy's name?
I don't know the guy, but what about like Swordfish with Hugh Jackman and Halle Berry? And you get to see.
Yeah, one of those kind of hacker movies.
Yeah, I like
it. No one gets shirtless in this one. PG-13, But
Hackers is too, but Angelina, I think you see Angelina's hoo-hoos in Hackers.
Yeah, I don't know if you do or you don't.
You do a quick glimpse when she is wearing his jacket in a love scene.
Okay.
Roll footage. Okay.
So I mean, like, I like the movie. It's fun. It kind of like it's one of those good movies, like not real, there's no CGI really in it, so it's like a good story, a little bit of espionage and some like sneaking, to find out that the world just has too many secrets in it is what it comes down to.
I was actually going to write down movies to watch and then write Sneakers, but then I realized it's going to be me that edits this. And by the time I'm done with this, I'll hate Sneakers because I'll have so much inside Sneakers things going on. So I do remember that. I think I saw that in the theater when we were in high school. So like,
really? I don't know.
What'd you say? 92?
92.
Oh, no, we were middle school then. So no,
yeah.
I don't know.
So what are you watching?
Well, I'll tell you what, I got 4 different things I've watched, some movies and a show, but I'm going to start off with something pretty big and easy. And it'll lead me into my next thing I talk about as well. But Godzilla versus Kong.
And this child, she's the only one he'll communicate with.
I knew that they had a bond. She had nowhere to go, so I made a promise to protect her. And I think that in some way, Kong did the same.
This movie like it is Pacific Rim. They have slowly built this universe up from starting with Godzilla 2014 where you fell asleep in it because it is a boring movie despite being a well-made remake or homage. I feel and you feel and a lot of people feel it's boring.
Well, we knew what was happening. We knew what we were getting into.
This movie,
I like this one that you're talking about because it came right in the door with it.
It punches you in the face. It starts off. It's like it has that Skull Island vibe. Yeah. I love the hollow interverse. The spoiler alert, folks. Skip to the head if you don't want to hear spoilers on Godzilla versus Kong. Skip to the head till you see the next movie icon pop up on the screen. But Mecha Godzilla, boy. And I knew that. Everybody
I didn't know because I didn't like watch a trailer or anything.
Okay.
So I was surprised a little bit. I thought it was gonna be an all-out fight between the two.
And then I think you said as well as me when I'm watching, I watched it with my mom because we have to watch all these movies together because we love monster movies. And we said, like, even she was like, this is like that other one. It's Pacific Rim. There's a lot of, especially the sequel, like with the mind control. And I think a lot of people are confused with a lot of like what happens. I can get real geeky and explain all the pseudoscience in this movie and what they were trying to say. So I find no faults. But again, I feel like when Pacific Rim came out and people were like, but the story, I feel again, and I'll say this and put me on record. If you go to Pacific Rim or Independence Day or Godzilla versus Kong and walk out sad because of the story, you're not clever or pretentious or some kind of cool fuck. You're an asshole.
Yeah.
Okay. Judge a fun movie by how fun it is. And Godzilla versus Kong is literally a giant pro wrestling match with giant monsters and then a giant robot monster. And whoa, I have some comments here. The only thing did Godzilla kill all the other Titans before this movie? And that's why they were worried about moving Kong, because they didn't want him to kill him. Like, did he kill the big nice woolly mammoth and the Spider-Man? Did he kill him? Like
I never thought about that.
I think that's somewhere in the news clippings in either the end of the last one.
Yeah, when they were showing all those things in the beginning, all the Kong Island and all those monsters. Yeah, probably.
I love where we're going. I think the Hollow Earth stuff is the most mind-blowing. Journey to the center of that planet kind of stuff just blows my mind. I love it. There's a D&D campaign for all the nerds out there, Hollow Earth. Anybody remember it? Boy, I loved it. But the other thing I want to say about this one to wrap it up, as I sat in my living room watching my 75-inch TV with that Dolby Atmos just banging off all my living room walls, and I said, you know what? I don't ever want to go back to the dirty, grungy, sticky floored theaters ever again. And I'm sad.
It's a bold statement. Yeah.
What you watching?
The second one I have picked is King Arthur in The Legend of the Sword.
I woke up from
where?
From a nightmare.
What was it about? Then,
Me and the lads took care of a bit of business.
hold up, back up. You've left something out.
Are you writing a book? They all lived happily ever after.
No, they didn't either. Because for the first time, there's something you don't know. Something nobody told you.
All right. From 2017, it was a movie theater bomb. I guess it didn't make any of the money back at all. But with that being said, that's a Guy Ritchie film. All right. And I don't think everyone knows Guy Ritchie films, but I ramble off a few of my favorite because Guy Ritchie is one of my favorite directors. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, Rock and Rolla. I know there's some other ones, but this is one of his movies, and it felt like his movie the whole entire way through. So the whole story with this is like Arthur was robbed of his birthright. He has to come up in the hard ways of the back alley streets of the city, and he finally gets a chance to pull the sword from the stone, and he is forced with the knowledge he has to be a true legacy or live without it. So starring in there was I mean, I'm probably gonna butcher some of these names, but Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy,
and what else we just mentioned? Pacific Rim.
There you go.
There it is.
Jude Law. I'm gonna butcher her name, but she was really good. She was the mage in there, which she controlled like animals and stuff like that. It was really cool. Shred Borgars Fry. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And Jamon Husson is in it as well. And he was in a bunch of movies as well too, like trying to think, The Island. He was one of like security guys from there. He's usually a security guy in a lot of movies, like real deep guy, but definitely it was a box office bomb. But it's a Guy Ritchie film, so it has like European, like almost Tarantino-ish, like lots of like talking real fast, but it worked out good too, because it's English, how it's like the English, how they speak English there, so you have to like figure out what they're really saying, like Bob your uncle and things like that, but I really like how it progressed, like really awesome cinematography, really, really cool soundtrack. Like I don't know, the only reason why I could think it bombed was that some people, like Americans, don't understand that type of movie, like
now is it takes place in medieval times, so it's a retelling of King Arthur in the Knights.
Yes, it's a retelling of King Arthur, but just like from, I guess, a different side of a story.
Okay.
I just thought it was really well done.
So he, instead of his birthright being the prince and the king to pull the sword, he is not, and he grows up poor and then eventually just lucks into.
Well, he grows up poor, but he becomes like a street hustler, kind of like a street boss. It has a crew of people where they collect money in this town. So
there was a cartoon when we were little, King Arthur, and I remember him being like a little street rascal, and then all of a sudden he pulls. I believe that's what happened. I think, but yeah. But I remember that coming out. I think cousin Chad liked it and said it, but like at that point, I'm like medieval out. Like after Lord of the, I was still like after Lord of the, I'm still like maybe never watch another medieval movie again. But, so when you were saying they talk in English, is it like it's not like Austin Powers' dad's like gibbity English? You're talking like proper old, like ye old English.
I would say some ye old English with slang,
like Shakespearean, like where you have to think a second what was said,
with a lot of slang in it. A lot of street slang
stuff that makes you think. So
yeah,
and I like different things. I like different.
Yeah, and it's different, and I think it's really cool. It's like it's rated PG-13 as well too. Even though there's some like really sexy scenes where these like like kind of like octopus slash women in the water.
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
cool.
wait a minute. What and what are they? And do they have scales, ladies and gentlemen?
No, they're very slippery.
And do they have chainmail bikinis on?
Nothing.
Okay.
You know, but
well,
the way they
and
cover
at what
things.
point in the movie is that? How far?
That is like
7 minutes?
38 minutes, point 42.
Skip to the good parts with us as well. All right. Well,
But what are you watching?
well, to come off of my Kong piggyback and Adam Wingard, this is a film that's on Netflix and he directed. But on a side note on Mr. Adam Wingard, I thought you'd love this and Adam would love this and all the kids our age would love this. Adam Wingard not only just did Godzilla versus Kong, he is also doing Thundercats, the live action Thundercats. It's been rumored to come forever. He is going to direct and writing it. So he's working on the screenplay now for that. But in 2017, he put out a real live action adaptation of a Japanese anime manga series called Death Note.
All the people that make life miserable, make life dangerous. What if we can change things? The human whose name is written in this note shall die.
Shall we begin?
You're a death god.
Yes.
What exactly can I do with this death note?
Put your name down and see what happens.
Now, Death Note had 2 Japanese. There was like 3 seasons of the manga, many. It was on Netflix. I believe it got taken down for some reasons. There was really 2 bad Japanese movies. I've watched some trailers on them, some clips. It was really bad, but I found this movie, and again, like this Adam Wingard knows what he's doing. I found this movie, and it's on Netflix right now. It is so captivating, and I'll tell you a brief. It has a it takes place from a kid in high school, and basically he finds this notebook one day in the playground, and this notebook, it has some rules, but basically this demon comes, and the demon's played by Willem Dafoe.
Oh, nice.
And it's like the Green Goblin, and so he plays Ryuk, and maybe and like the true anime manga fans hate all the film adaptations, but I think this film, if take it for what it is, I love it. He's really there. It's not his face. What they did was like the demon's really there, and it's played by this like 6-7 foot tall dude in this big demon thing, and then they green screen is Willem Dafoe's face with these eyes. Jesus. And so what basically is anybody's name you write down in this book and how this demon, the god of death, Ryuk, will kill them.
Oh, wow.
And he's just
leaves that in the park though.
Well, listen, he explains the rules. There has to be a keeper. And if you look in, he was a bored demon. And anyway, this kid, he starts going after bad. Like this bully, man, was like punching girls on the street and like taking money off of like handicapped kids, and he fucking decapitates his kid. Boom. And then he starts going after like rapists, murders, and starts like, and dude, it spirals from there. And it has this Donnie Darko, like the mood of the opening song and the opening credits by the Australians. I think it's called Don't Be Reckless or Reckless. God, it's a haunting song. Yeah. And the whole movie has that, like, I swear you could imagine like a young Seth Rogen walking by, like on how Donnie Darko was, like those haunting 80s, but it's not an 80s film. It's very much a real film, takes place in Seattle. Yeah. And my goodness, the type of movie where I just go, yes, if I had a Death Note, folks, if I had the Death Note book, listen, I would use it for good. All right, but boy, that'd be a silent couple people. I guarantee you know who. I'd be motherfucking in my death book right now. Yeah, right down in there. Not even a hesitation. I would go, yeah, he wouldn't even explain the rules to me because there's rules. And I'd just be like, no problem. Here you go, sir. But anyway, I thought it was a fan. If you're an anime thing, like it's what I want to say to like Marvel and everybody else, like DC. It's okay to like many things.
Yeah.
But enough on lecturing. Anyway, see it. Death Note on Netflix if you want a cool movie. Anyway, what you watching?
All right. So this one I hold close to the heart. I mean, maybe not everyone knows this, but I am a professional chef. 20 plus years strong. So this movie is called Chef.
This is madness, huh?
There's carne asada. Check it out.
Wow.
Chef Big Dog up all night cooking.
Shut up and taste this, a mousse douche. Come here. Look at that.
You like it?
Yeah.
We're gonna cook like this.
We're being reviewed by the most important critic in the city. Now suddenly you're going to be an artist. Well, be an artist on your own time. It's my restaurant.
So you're threatening to fire me now?
I'm telling you what I'm prepared to do if you don't cook my menu.
It's up. The review's out.
His dramatic weight gain can only be explained by the fact that he must be eating all the food sent back to the kitchen.
From 2014. It's on Netflix right now. It's rated R, and it's from probably the one of the greatest directors of all time right now, Jon Favreau. I think that's how you say his name, right? Favreau. How you say his name, baby?
Favre. Brett Favre.
Jon Favreau. Sorry.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'll run down like some stars in here. Jon Favreau, Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, and there's a Scarlett Johansson scene which is beautiful.
Yeah.
But tasteful. Okay. Dustin Hoffman, John Leguizamo. Is that how you say his name? How you say his name?
It's Leguizamo.
Leguizamo, and Sophie what's her last name? Sofia Vergara.
Sofia Vergara.
Yeah, she's in it as well. So nice.
Yeah, about
nice
annoying
cast of
voice.
people.
Is she going like this the whole time?
Yeah.
And everyone goes, no one talks like that, ma'am.
I think she does.
I know real Latino people, and they don't talk like that.
I don't know. I think she does, though. Plus, she's in Pittsburgh all the time too. Because that's where her husband's from. Well, what's his name?
I arm wrestled in old Mexico.
Yeah.
So it's no big
deal.
So
the whole thing about this. Yeah. So the whole thing about this movie is, Jon Favreau, which plays a head chef, quits his restaurant job and buys a food truck in the effort to reclaim his creativity promises, while piecing back together his estranged family. So a lot of people don't know, like, when you're in the culinary world, you pretty much, that's all you do. And you don't have time for anything else, and you neglect everything around you. So he did this for a while, and this is him bringing everything back. He worked with a guy called Roy Choi. So Roy Choi owns a food truck out in California called Koji. All right. And he worked with Jon Favreau. I'm just gonna start calling him John. I'm not quit saying his last name. He worked with John, and John and Roy just put him in the kitchen, made him work to learn how to be a chef. Yeah. So this is like very, very legit. I mean, there's some things that they made good for the movie, but it's very, very legit about what he does and how he operates in the movie, which is just like a chef, What it comes down to is like he gets criticized by critics, and it talks about like maybe why critics shouldn't be so harsh on chefs. There's lots of things about social media and how you drive a business, and it comes down to having some redemption at the end with his family. So I mean, like, really cool movie. Like, I really dig it. It's a fun movie to watch. It has a very good story to it, and I mean, it's a good movie. I just dig it.
Do you think is this written about, or is he writing this based off of the Wahlbergs? Is Mark a writer on this?
No, I don't think he is.
Didn't Mark Wahlberg do something similar with Wahlburgers? Like all the brothers were like effed up, and Mark like did something to bring all the brothers back under like a culinary flag because they were all good cooks or something. I don't know.
I think one just was doing his own thing, and I think Mark helped him out to drive that business bigger. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed the premise of Chef always was like, is this Wahlburgers to me? But I know Favreau.
Yeah.
Jonathan Favreau is the connecting pronunciations.
But like just a great movie of like, you know, what you watch over there.
Eating is fun. That's what I have to say about cooking, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to take it dark. I'm going to go dark here with an interesting one before my finale. But this is a series, and the series is on Apple TV Plus. And right now, everyone's like, shut up. There's no such thing. And I'm like, yes, I have it. And if you have Apple TV or Apple iPhone or whatever, you can get this for like $6.99 a month. It's where like Raven's Bank went on, and there's a ton of good shows on it. I love it.
Leanne Grayson? Hello, Mrs. Turner.
Hi, I'm Sean.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Turner. You have a beautiful home.
She is a godsend.
I was expecting someone older, less weird.
We hope you'll treat our house as your home. I'm sure you and Jericho will form an instant bond.
She's cool with everything? She knows the situation. I guess we should talk about this. She's gone. You can put the doll down now.
I'm fine as I am, Mr. Turner.
We lost Jericho when he was 13 weeks. Dorothy took it hard. This is the only thing that brought her back.
I should take Jericho for his walk now.
So anyway, it's the girl that was it was the kind of like
not attractive girlfriend.
Yeah, the kind of a not attractive redhead from Can't Hardly Wait. Is in it. The weird redheaded kid from Harry Potter, the main Weasley. You know, I don't know what his name is, but the main Weasley that's Potter's like best friend, and this other dude. And the gist of this story is that this couple loses their infant son. Okay. And the wife can't the trauma was so bad that this off the wall therapist they were working with, I shouldn't say off the wall, I should say alternative therapist, suggested an emotional doll to like, because she was catatonic. So that they at first they pretend that there's this doll here, okay, and they have to like the wife changes it, puts it to sleep, and it's part of her therapy. Well, then the wife though, because they're like rich and privileged, she hires a nanny. This nanny shows up.
Yeah.
This nanny's got the doll and she's treating it like a real, and the husband's like, hey, you can drop the shit. She's not here. And the nanny's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, who are you singing to in the room? Like the doll? And the girl's like, I'm singing to your son, Jericho. And then there's a real baby here, Big James. And it looks like their dead son. And it's a real living, breathing baby, and the doll's gone. And then like the doll's back, but then the baby's back, and there's like these religious undertones.
Yeah.
And then there's some cult stuff. And this is 2 seasons. There's a pretty
like that cult stuff.
But at the end of this movie goes full bore onto some crazy ass stuff where potentially this cult is real or they're not real, because guess who wrote this thing or has his hands in it?
Billy Bob Thornton.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, geez.
Okay. So
I don't know. I like his movies and I don't like his movies.
Well, I would say that my notes on this are: is this a mess or a masterpiece? I couldn't stop watching. So was it interesting? The answer is yes. The Harry Potter guy basically plays a drunken, terrible human being and literally drinks wine as his whole role, the whole 2 seasons. I wrote American Pie Girl, but it's wrong. I was wrong. It's the Can't Hardly Wait Girl and Shamalama Lama. So anyway, folks, it's called The Servant. It's weird. Boy, but what an interesting concept. Within 1 or 2 episodes, you're like, whoa, what? So, there's that. But what you watching?
Hulu exclusive.
All right, okay.
Boss Level. All right, is what it's called.
I've heard of
it.
Hey, Jake, can I get a large bottle of that Baijiu?
You know what? Make it 2 large bottles. How can you drink like that?
I used to complain that every day felt the same, and now every day is the same. Hey, Jake. I have died 144 times, and every day ends like this. But it doesn't matter. Not when you've lost everything you've loved. Venter, man who's had me killed 150 times.
The power to rewrite history is mine.
Heads up. I know everything that's gonna happen. One thing that never changes.
What's up, pretty boys?
Bunch of assholes killing me for reasons that remain a mystery.
I am Guan Yin, and Guan Yin has done this.
1, 2, 3.
Let's just talk about Boss Level. Frank Grillo.
We can almost deep dive on Boss Level.
It seems like it, huh?
Yeah.
Frank Grillo, also the great 80s Mel Gibson. We won't talk about the 90s. Great movie, I thought. Amazing. Retired Special Forces officer is trapped in a never-ending time loop on the day of his death. Pretty much a Groundhog Day, but with death and violence.
Violence, yeah.
Violence. So
this movie, having said that, this movie, I don't want to say, and I can talk for 3 hours. It's been I've been proven. All I will say this about this movie is, folks, it should have been marketed a little bit better towards gamers, in my IMO, in my opinion. And it uses the fact that you're trying to Groundhog Day formula in your head to stay 1 step ahead of you and the actual hero. Just when you think you had things figured out, this movie goes, yeah, but that's not even the thing. That's another movie that you like. That's not our problem here. And you're going, oh, what? And it knows you're doing that.
Underrated movie. I gotta say.
Real underrated.
Like really cool cinematography, like cool story, like cool characters you hate, characters you don't hate. Funny enough to that, recently opened up a sushi bar downtown with people, and the stuff he was drinking, the Baijiu, learned about it.
Okay. All right.
Crazy. I'm just gonna since I found this out, I didn't know it before we talked about this. They take rice and other things like lavender and like different like spices, and they bury it in the ground and let it ferment. All right. And then they take that muck and distill it into sake. And it's like the better the ingredients, the longer it ages, the worse, I guess, it tastes and smell, the more expensive it is. Crazy. And he's drinking 2 bottles of it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Yeah, basically, I'm not gonna eat a bunch of slop you buried into the ground a couple weeks ago. So I mean,
it's distilled too. But
can I just have a Coca-Cola?
You can.
Hey, what's the last thing you?
Wait a minute. Just let it be like this.
Lion face. Lemon face. Hey, what's the last thing you're watching?
It's funny you mentioned that, and I know you watched it too. And I might have an opposite opinion of what I thought about it, but I watched Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League in 4:3 on HBO Max.
The bell's been rung. Out in the dark, among the stars, the god is dead.
I had a dream. Almost like a premonition. I think there's an attack coming.
My lord, this world will fall.
I need warriors. I'm building an alliance to defend ourselves.
How do you know your team's strong enough? If you can't bring down the charging bull, then don't wave the red cape at it.
You were sent here for a reason. And even if it takes you the rest of your life, find out what that reason is.
They said the age of heroes would never come again.
I loved every second of this, what I call a 4-hour masterpiece. At the end, I was sad it was over. I have some things to say, some criticisms, having said that I think this was a 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10 thing. I have 3 criticisms, then I know you have some things that you want to.
I mean, mine are quick.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I know what you don't like. Go ahead.
Because I was 35 minutes in. I'm like looking around like, this is what we're gonna watch? All right. You could have cut an hour off that movie, just shortening up these slow motions. All right.
Yes.
Now it did look beautiful. All right. But here's the thing, like I already watched it the first time. All right. I know you changed a bunch of stuff, but it's the same thing to me right now. It's overhyped. It's 4 hours long. Like I don't have time for that. Okay. 4 hours long. Even watching it at my own pace, it's just sitting there at like 34 minutes. Probably never gonna go back to it. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I will say this much. I could have trimmed this down and made this a 3-hour movie, or I could have cut it into 2 parts. And that's how they should have released it to theaters as is and finished what it was. If you haven't finished it, go past, because if you watch, and I was one of the psycho people, I went and watched Batman v Superman again and the theatrical release of Justice League before I watched this.
Jesus.
And I plan on watching Justice League over a week and treating it like a mini series, as every section's like about an hour, take a break, blah, 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 blah. But I sat like this the whole time for 4 hours, pausing and discussing too, like this. And just now, the time is the thing for people, but we have to either embrace it or break it. And that was my 2 things with that. And now I hate to say the F word on podcasts, but the mother 4x3.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was the other thing I hated.
Now, here's the thing, and just from a strictly marketing point, and I know this, and whether this is him just saying, F them all now, because this was my vision and this was my true baby and I'm going to show it. But I just want to say, okay, if that was meant because that's the true IMAX ratio for an IMAX screen, and this was supposed to be shown on a full IMAX screen, which is a 4:3 ratio, I just want to say in that boardroom or anybody to Mr. Snyder and go, I know, dude, but listen, HBO Max is installed 99% in households with widescreen flat HD 4K TVs. You're going to confuse people when they hit play on HBO Plus and it has boxes on the outsides.
Yeah, I was trying to fix it.
I immediately Googled it and then I read the shablabba blabba about, and at that point, that's just pretentious shit to be a pretentious shithead. And
I even thought if I spun the TV,
yeah, like
that didn't work though. It stayed the same way.
Well, it's for IMAX. Well, we're not in IMAX, and if we had all the money, we spent an additional 80 million to like finish the movie. Like there was more money. And then like when you look at this now to compare this, the Joss Whedon theatrical cut was a crime. He got paid $1 million, $100 million to add jokes in like not Daredevil, the Flash talking about brunch. Like everything is so dumb. Like he yells at
Let me say something about brunch.
Diana, and he's
terrible.
Like, okay.
You get up and you make your own breakfast.
All brunches aside, I'm just saying that's a lot of money to pay Joss Whedon to come in and like punch up this script and add his own stupid little crap in it. So anyway, folks, I think any comic book fan is going to love that 4 hours. Treat it like a mini series, watch an hour at a time, and love every second of it. The only thing that didn't make sense to me in the entire movie, spoiler alert, is for some reason Martian Manhunter shows up. He shows up at the end of this movie in one of the post-credits scene, and that scene I have no problem with, and blah, 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 blah. We have to get to the war's not coming, Darkseid's coming, the war's not over, yada, yada. But in the middle of the movie, he shows up to the point and does something to the point where I was like, I think that's Martian Manhunter. But what he just did, I don't know if that's Martian Manhunter. And they have this brilliant scene where Martha and Lois have some closure on Clark's death, and they both agree that they need to move on with their life. And it's the healthiest thing. And then Martha leaves, and you go, wow, that's touching, And then Martha turns into Martian Manhunter and walks down the steps, and nothing's said. And I go, what was that for? Like, why is that even in his jurisdiction? Why is Martian Manhunter trying to be Martha Kent? And I don't know.
I'll tell you what I do know. It'll be a 5-hour long movie on with your TV like this.
Oh my god, yeah. Like, I mean, that whole thing.
I'll pass on that one too.
Yeah.
Give me a Suicide Squad Part 2.
Well, I want to see the Oyer or whatever the cut of the Suicide Squad. They're now saying this thing Snyder cut did so good. They want to see the real cut of the Suicide Squad that we were supposed to get. That I'm into too. I'd love a 5 or 6 hour version of Suicide Squad to make me realize
how many chances you're gonna get. Why don't you just make a good movie the first time?
So where can everybody find more of what you're doing or more of what they want to know to find some answers on certain things?
You can follow me on all social media platforms at Pastry Kings OG or Pastry Kings.
Folks, you know who I am. You know where to find me. A lot of people go, you know what? I mean, it'd be nice if you put your videos somewhere other than Facebook. And I said, listen, I don't mean to be a pain in the butt or sound like a dick, but there's been an E-Nertia Global YouTube channel since 1992, right? I mean, it's over on YouTube. We don't make a dime from YouTube. That's why we don't ever talk about everything else being on YouTube, because we hate it. But everything is there to make your viewing pleasure that much better. So with us, with love, any signing off notices there?
Huh?
All right, folks, we've been yapping. The closing song's been playing. We're out of here. Wow. You staying or are you leaving?
Was I supposed to do that too?
I don't know. You staying or you leaving? You staying? All right.
I guess I'm done.